All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Anohana, episode 3.
So,
all right, we've got our characters starting to get back together.
Yep.
The gang is still missing a couple specific key members here who have been showing a little bit more of their character and where their blind spots are, if you will.
Tsuruko and Yukiatsu are still distant.
Distant is the right word for it.
Yeah.
And yet, in this case, we have found where Tsuruko's sensitivities are regarding the subject. Things that she would really rather be able to talk to people about, but it comes out the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is rather wholesome thus far.
Yep.
Everything seems to be pretty... at least the hardcore drama seems to be kind of distant as well. Like, if anything, I feel like we need more of the group together before we can have some kind of another minor sundering.
Yeah, okay.
You know, when it gets to everyone talking and then you realize, like, people can just say things that are really nasty.
Right, because so far with Popo and Anaru, it's gone fairly smoothly. Mm-hmm. Like, they played Nokimon, that went well, that wasn't Menma's wish, but they had fun together.
Yeah. But okay, we've got things moving in a good direction.
Yep.
So, Menma, you're doing great. All right. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, whoa. What was that voice acting? That was so good. Oh. Oh. That's true.
I mean, that is a part of sort of,
it's a part
moving
of
on
things.
and
Yep.
I love how it's something, though, where as soon as she says it might be her wish, there's like this sense of obligation of like, well, I guess I have to,
Yeah. There it is, yep. Wow. Oh, let's get that OP.
Yep. Oh, by the way, so someone pointed out to me that apparently the flower that's shown in the OP is a forget-me-not.
Well, okay.
Yep.
All right. Well done, anime.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay. One of the things I was thinking of, the way that Menma speaks in third person, is it adds to the disconnect of her being a ghost,
Oh, sure.
It's like you might not actually be speaking to Menma,
Yeah, like it might just be Jinta.
Right. Yeah. That too, yeah. Yeah, summer. Oh, wait. Was that? No, that was Yukiatsu. No, okay. Oh. Maybe this is a bad idea. Oh, perfect timing.
Yep, exactly. Can't back out of it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's doing the baka.
Yeah. Just like, oh. Okay. Yeah, I know. There it is. There it is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that casual little just reminder. Oh, no, we're double focusing on it. Okay. Yeah.
写真もね、あんまり好きくない写真だったの。でもメンマ、いつも写真撮るときピースしちゃうから、ピースしてない写真あんまりなかったのかもしれないね。
No.
また泣いちゃった。ジンタンに怒られちゃう。
All right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
帰るか。
ダメだよジンタン。学校行かなきゃ。
He doesn't want to disappoint her.
Yeah. Comrade.
決まってんだろ。メンマだよ。弁がこう奇跡の R を描いた
Oh my god. Wait, wait.
多分デルタだったんだよな。
Wait, an R?
デルタ。
Oh, he's the line on the left.
Right, right.
Gotcha. Okay.
メンマ、すっかり大人になってたよ。あいつが夏よく着てた白いワンピース？メンマって確か願い事叶えて欲しくて。
It's a cool question to ask to make sure that he is actually seeing the same thing. You know?
Yeah.
おかえりなさい。
ただいま。はいじゃなくてお前。
早かったねジンタン。
Yes, about that.
今日は始業式だけだからさ。お前なんだよこれ。
You actually did this.
あ
Oh, something that they ate when they were kids.
急げ。
Oh.
母ちゃんあれあれ。
Oh.
ある
Yeah.
よ。ジンタン。
Yeah. Oh. Once they had the little static like shift
Yep,
thing,
yep.
I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, here it comes. Yep. Yeah, hiding the IV.
Mm-hmm.
母ちゃん。ごめんね。
Oh.
ジンタ君、おい、ちょっと。
食べよう食べよう。
Yeah. It's...
いただきます。
Taste is one of the senses that is like the easiest to send you back into the past.
もっともっと練習して、もっともっと美味しいの作ってあげるね。
もっとって。
How the hell are you a ghost
Doing this
but
in the
doing
first
this?
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
そうだお前、ポッポんとこにも行ったのか。
知らないよ。メンマずっとお家にいたよ。それメンマの幽霊？
Yeah.
お前は何なんだよ。
ほんまめいこです。
話にならね
So there's multiple angles they could go with here. Is that it doesn't matter whether she's a ghost or a hallucination. That's not what's important here. They could all actually have their own personalized hallucinations of... Oh!
カルシウム？
It's nutritious.
More protein.
Exactly.
This is what you say when you find a hair in your food. You're like, yes.
あるんだけど。羨ましいですね、彼女さん。
Yeah. So.
ゆっくり見ていってくださいね。
I have been that salesperson before.
一体誰に貢いでるの？
Whoa, Popo, calm down. Like, bro, like,
自分です
of how like I knew it had to be him. Like,
Yep.
いいじゃんいいじゃん。メンマと
this is important. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
全く趣旨がわかんねえんだけど。
to get everyone back together.
とにかく
Right.
ジンタンは絶対参加な。じゃあ
What? Classic extrovert move. You have to be there, and I'm not waiting for your response. Bye.
Right, exactly.
See you there.
メンマもメンマ探したい。
うわ
ねえ、何持ってく？
誰も行くって言ってねえだろ。
行くって言って。
は
これメンマが叶えてほしいお願いかもしれないよ。
Oh, yeah, let me use this.
Right, exactly. The magic words.
随分都合よく使ってないが。
Mm-hmm.
お願いってやつ。
Yes.
Spam that ability.
Right.
What do you mean my ultimate has a cooldown?
Right. It's like when the little kid realizes that they're adorable and they can just like do like a bashful smile and get the adults to agree to whatever.
Yeah.
帰りカラオケ行こうよ。今夜はパス。
Well done, well done. Oh, she's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Choto to the mate. Let's
Right.
Come on. Oh. Oh. Now she's gonna see, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
She's not even wearing her glasses. She did her hair really nice. She's wearing the white dress. It's look a lot like we know what you're doing. Oh. Did you read the extra?
Exactly.
And she's not in a school uniform. Too.
Exactly.
Those little offhand comments where she's like, I know he's not so subtle as he thinks he is. Oh.
One of those people.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. Well done.
He's like, you brought the good stuff.
Ooh. Yes.
Right, and not at all a barbecue thing.
Are you trying to say something deep? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, she's doing the being influenced by those around her.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, he said it.
Yep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
This episode's nearly got me twice now.
Mm-hmm.
Yukiatsu, yeah. And Yukiatsu brought the food.
Right, exactly. Right.
Good man.
The responsible one.
Oh, yes. Herb salt. There you go. Whoa. Yeah, okay. We're going there. Let's go.
All right. Well,
so everyone is haunted by their own Menma in a way, but it's not literally Menma necessarily. It's something that is maybe tailored specifically for them, or it's something that is very much like an independent thing, and then Jinta has his own trauma that is just, being like projected out as Menma. What can be really sad here is that he's the only one that doesn't actually see Menma. He just sees the projection of his trauma as this, avatar of Menma that can't even speak as if she's Menma,
Well, one of the things that I love about it is that it's something where each of them has their own trauma as a result of the incident.
Totally,
it wasn't the same for any one of them. So they all deal with it in their own ways.
Right.
All right. Everybody's back together.
Okay. This is really good.
Yep.
This is something that I thought would take actually a little bit longer.
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
Because one of the things that I thought was really strong in the early episodes was how natural the convenience of having Menma maneuver Jinta into these situations felt. So the convenience factor felt natural.
Right.
Here, what we have is Popo, who was properly simply characterized that he would be the one that would need to be the first opening in the dam. Basically.
Sure, right, because he would be the most receptive to just what's happening.
Yep.
And
there were multiple good hints to this. He was the most gregarious with Jinta.
Sure.
Jinta being the one that then accidentally drops that he's seen or seeing Menma.
Right.
Then we have the new development in this episode that basically makes this, okay, where this is happening now. And that is that Popo saw older Menma, like high school Menma, but like in the ethereal, ghostly,
much more ghosty kind of way. Yeah.
Impersonal kind of way.
Yes.
And what is really good about that is that terrified him.
Yeah. Right.
So
very different response from Yukiatsu, where it's I saw Menma too. You know, she's that way.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know that Yukiatsu saw the same thing he did.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the thing.
That is very
we
true.
We already have 2 instances of a different
because what Popo saw
of Menma
was very different from what Jintan saw.
Exactly.
Jinta saw.
Exactly. So if we now have Popo being like, okay, let's get everyone together, he could be doing this because he wants everyone together, but it could also be that now his fears, his emotions, and everything are rushing their way towards him, and he needs almost some shields. He needs a little bit of, hey, can we be in this together? You know?
Right.
It's the kind of person where they'll never show that they're scared because they're like, we could just do this together. Yep, absolutely. And as long as I have my friends by my side, I will never be scared.
Right, because he is the more superstitious one, you know, in both of the
Right. His chanting and his
right. Exactly. And it's great. It's great, but then at the same time, it's like, oh no, he was legitimately terrified, right? You know, because one, he's like, I saw a ghost.
Of course he would be.
But 2, it's the ghost of the friend that died when we were all kids.
Yeah.
Why, especially if you're like into like, you know, ghosty, spooky stuff. It's like, why is she here? Like, like with all the, you know, complicated emotions and guilt and everything that so many of them feel. That must really, really scare him. Like, yeah.
We got another hint on Yukiatsu. And then we got just the bombshell drop that he sees Menma too. And to be like as exact as possible, when he shows up and tells them that, hey, Menma's over there, says it wasn't just you, and he says, I can see Menma too. There's a little bit of vagary here that I want to point out. Tsuruko has been noticing Yukiatsu's distractedness, if you will, and that he's probably not let go of the past in some way. He says he can see Menma too, but he doesn't seem shocked by it.
Right.
Which means, in my opinion, that we're probably going to find out that it's not that he just saw Menma for the first time over there. It's, no, I've always been seeing Menma. Like, maybe I've been the one seeing her the longest.
Sure. Yeah.
And given that there's that little bit of hinting that he was crushing on Menma, maybe he doesn't see Menma in the same way that even Popo did, and he sees something that's a little bit more idealized and a little bit more maybe a little bit more of something that he's kind of constantly coming back to be like.
Sure. Well, and if it's something where
especially if those toys were for her.
Right. And if it's something where he's been seeing her for so long, right? And there was the whole thing of, oh, well, you know, Jinta probably liked Menma, and Menma might have liked Jinta, so then there could be all kinds of, you know, other feelings with that regard if he was crushing on her, and he's still been seeing her, but Jinta's saying that, like, oh, all of a sudden he's seeing her. It's like, oh, yeah, welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club,
like, you know, like there's all kinds of things that could be teased apart there because yeah, like
then we got a really cool conversation between Anaru and Tsuruko.
Yeah.
So I really relate to Anaru.
Mm-hmm.
And that's her nickname, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. One of the things that's really tough about someone that has trouble being resolute in who they are and ends up being influenced a lot by the people around you is that comes from that little bit of self-hatred, that little bit of, just not liking who you are, so you'd rather be someone that other people like, so you can validate, that aspect of you because you need it to counteract the part that you don't validate yourself. But when I saw how the friends were treating Jinta, I really liked that Jinta quickly rejected their thing there and kind of used that as his, reason to be like, yeah, well, I'm not going to school.
I didn't want to be going anyways. Yeah.
Zoo of morons,
Right.
But
disassociate.
Yeah. But Anaru not only didn't say anything when they said that, or not really, she also didn't know what to do once he told them off. Right. And in some ways, her silence, that's so painful. Not from this perspective of Jinta, but from the omniscient perspective of then imagining what she's going through.
Right.
Is that she feels stuck in that she has to have these people as her friends because she doesn't feel like she necessarily has anyone else. And if she doesn't have at least someone, she's going to go into the dark place that they think Jinta is in constantly. Even though he is in a dark place, he's actually not doing that bad as far as like the fact that he has a loving father nearby. He has people that do care about him.
He's got one parent. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And I love his dad thus far.
Oh yeah, his dad's wonderful.
His dad's wonderful.
He's a precious gift that Jintan doesn't realize
he has no idea
wonderful he is.
Oh, but eventually he will. But the thing that's really strong about Anaru like trying to like keep herself from going into that place that Jinta's in is that her efforts will push her there eventually anyway.
Right.
Because she's not handling or addressing the thing. So then when she talks to Tsuruko, it's like she's saying, hey, can you be that mean friend that I need so you can tell me that I'm being a baka, that I'm being stupid.
So that I can change.
Because
I don't have the courage or the strength of will myself
to make
in order
myself
to do it.
change.
Yeah.
And Tsuruko's like, that's not my responsibility. She's kind of like that thing of like, hey, I'm managing me right now. I'm not responsible for you. Do you want me to say a specific thing here? Like, come on, like don't ask that of me. And what I like there is that Tsuruko didn't like tell her off really. Tsuruko kind of let her sit there and ramble for a bit and be like, hey, like, what do you want me to say?
Right.
Like,
why are you telling me this?
Right, but she didn't belittle her for saying it.
Right.
She basically said, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you expect of me? It's kind of the thing of like,
it's a bit cold, but
it's cold, but it's not barbed.
Right.
That's the thing that I think is so important there, is that Tsuruko is willing to, at the very least, listen and let her do this, even though she's probably like, this girl is an idiot.
Right. It's. I feel like it's something where Tsuruko is just like, I don't have the time or energy really to be that angry with you right now.
Yeah. Like, my empathy is not that great that I can give it to you here in this situation. You remind me of me when I was figuring this out, long time ago or something like that.
Sure.
Like that thing of where in some ways I can almost feel this bit of condescension. This may be reaching a bit from Tsuruko, but I can almost feel that she's like, I'm so glad I didn't become you. I think that's like, a bit reaching.
Maybe a bit reaching, but I feel like it's on a similar trail because Tsuruko is definitely proud.
She's proud, and I think her energy is so focused maybe on kind of focused on herself to make sure that she's okay, that's why she gets frustrated seeing Yukiatsu's irregular, probably unhealthy behavior, because she's like, I need to have the people that are closest to me be in a healthy place so that I don't get dragged down with them. That's that kind of feeling there is why I think that she might be maybe a little bit of like keeping that little bit of distance between her and Naru. She's like, no. Like I'm not gonna invest in you. Like you're.
I loved the. I loved the bit where they're in the store, Tsuruko and Yukiatsu, and she's all like, asking him the questions and stuff, and then the clerk comes up and is like, "Oh, you're such a cute couple," or
lucky girlfriend,
and
she just goes, "Yeah," and they're like.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's plenty of other products here.
I'm gonna
let me know if you need help.
Yeah, right. like it's.
I have worked customer service. I've worked retail. I've worked all those things and stuff like that. And oh my god, I have the funniest stories of that nature. It's so painfully cringe.
Oh yeah, like just
so good.
Anytime customer service jokes are done in anything, I love it. Right. But I love also that it was something that was so like. Underneath what was being said, because what was being said was so little, right?
Yep.
And yet, because of the context and everything and the timing and the way, Tsuruko said it, it was just perfect. like you know what's being communicated there,
And to be fair, one of the things that we still don't know, and this is something that I think is more and more being confirmed, but it's still not certain yet, is we don't know what the relationship between Yukiatsu and Tsuruko is yet.
But they're not in a relationship.
Well, that's the thing. They might have been in a relationship, though. There might be something there. Even if, when I say the relationship, I don't mean literally whether they're a couple or not. I mean whether or not Yukiatsu or Tsuruko like each other. One of them likes the other. One of them likes Menma, probably Yukiatsu, and then Tsuruko is mad that Yukiatsu is still obsessed over a dead girl when it's like, I'm right here, you know?
It could totally be that.
Like all those things could be it. But then there's also could be the thing of where it's like, no, they do like each other. But maybe Yukiatsu just doesn't see himself being worthy of love or something like that for whatever reason with regards to the whole Menma situation. And she's trying to help him, but he's like, no, I'm still stuck in my in the past or things like that. There's so many things that it could be. And then she's like, your girlfriend. And she's just like, no, this is complicated. It's the standing relationships. It's complicated. You can't just explain it in a conversation. Man. And then she's like, yes. Like that immediate realization from the person being like, yep. I don't care about the subtext, and it's not my place to get involved, so I'm a dip.
Right. Like, one of the things that I love about this show, just in general, is how, because, one, there's just a lot of characters, too, right? Like,
true, for a short show,
right, having an 11-episode show with 6 main characters, where they all have crazy emotional turmoil and stuff, that's a lot,
That is a lot, yeah.
And I love that even if we don't necessarily realize what the exact details of the emotional turmoil are, even though we know it revolves a lot around the fact that Menma died, it's consistent. Like you can tell that something's there, but you can't quite piece together what the details are. But also on rewatch, it's just wonderful to be able to go through and be like, yep, I know exactly what that look, that pause, that phrasing, what that was all for.
Means.
And
that's awesome. This is definitely a show then where you would then want to rewatch it, but you'd be struggling with the idea that there's all this emotion you're probably going to be feeling on rewatch.
Because there was a part of me that used to think does this show have good rewatch value? Because the amount of times that Menma's like, oh, this might be my wish, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's not, but so does it?
Right. Well, that's not the mystery of the show.
Exactly.
That's not the mystery of the show. It's going to be how do they get back together, and then what do they need to resolve in order to get back together?
Exactly.
That's the real mystery here.
Yep.
And then maybe, I don't know if they'll get into it, but there might be some circumstances surrounding her death, Menma's death, that might need to be revealed, but we'll see on that.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. The Jinta focus, though,
Yeah.
was real. And that was in the, hey, Jinta, what are you going to do today?
Right.
I love how he didn't mention whether or not he was going to go to school. We, from our perspective, don't know what the dad is asking. He could just be saying, hey, do you have any plans today?
Right.
The dad is not asking, can I be a part of your day?
Uh-huh.
He's not asking if, like, whether or not he's not grading him in any way based on what he plans to do today. His question is as open-ended as it can get.
Yep.
And like that kind of good stuff from a dad that you can tell understands that the son needs distance, but is also willing to knock on the door. That's just perfect.
This coming from the guy that lost his wife, and now his son is going through all this crazy stuff after losing his mom,
friend,
right?
As well,
then he loses his friend, and now it's like I want to help.
Yeah, and this is the part that I think is really tough to communicate in a show where kids are the main characters. But adults are people too.
Yes.
And I know I'm giving, I'd say, an inordinate amount of focus on the dad because he's not really
he's not one of the main characters. Yeah.
Yeah, he's barely had any, like, serious characterization or something like that to kind of show what he's not. Specifically, we know more just a few things of what he is.
Sure.
But losing someone that you loved and were in a relationship with for that long and had a kid with and all this, I've seen people collapse in when that was threatened, like just with like illness or something like that.
Yeah.
But the amount of solace I see on his face, because this show does actually do really good, like, micro emotion character animation and stuff. You can tell that the movements of his face and stuff like that are very intentional. So when he comes in and he has those little moments of where it's like, yeah, I've got thoughts, I've got feelings and stuff, but I am open to whatever my son needs right now.
Right.
What is really important here to understand is that the father could need his son. And yet he can't ask that of him.
Right.
Because that is not what his son needs.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, and we find that out later, I'm going to bawl my eyes out a lot. just thinking about it right now, it just kills me.
Yeah, because you see all the things that he does to try and just make it so that he can be whatever it is that his son needs. He'll try and be that, right?
Yep.
But
oh, okay.
Jinta doesn't really want him right now.
Yeah, and then the other part, we have a little bit of focus on the mom. And we get to see that Menma knew the mom, and they would go over to the house, and she would make little little bread and stuff like that, and little fried, things there. And it's like, oh, that's so sweet. That's so wholesome. And I love the idea of Menma being, like, this is more of like crack theory kind of things. Menma being his projected hallucination trauma combination, because then you could go down the angle of Jinta is actually just really, really in a bad place. And it's the combination of losing his mom and Menma that has caused him to disassociate so much that he's actually Menma. And he made the bread. And he never went to school or stuff like that.
Right.
Like, that's not correct at all.
And if it helps, the way that we can know that isn't what it is, even though it makes sense that, like, Jinta would doubt it and stuff. Well,
he went to...
Well, yeah, there was the whole thing with Anohana.
The timeline doesn't work.
But also that Menma went to her family's house and, like, knocked over the glass and things like that.
Yeah, totally. That is something, though, that doesn't involve Jinta in any way.
Right.
So it's more of just omniscient perspective stuff that makes it obvious that that's not what they're doing.
Right.
But it also, if they were wanting to make it be like that, it doesn't disprove it.
Well, but and also in sort of counterbalance with that, even if Jinta didn't, even if Menma isn't Jinta's hallucination, right?
Yeah.
There's still the question of why did Menma show up to Jinta, right? That idea of maybe there was something that was enough of a, deep, emotional turmoil, need, whatever, that called Menma to him or something like that.
Yeah. I'm just saying that this is kind of a cool way to have them explore the idea that Menma is more tied to actually the trauma regarding his mother than actually Menma. And there's something there that I think is rather beautifully sad, in that when Menma goes to the memorial for Jinta's mom, she's talking to her as if it's like, hey, yeah, Menma really liked you. Menma really appreciated you. And then that disassociation of our young Menma here from maybe actual Menma is just made extra painful, because then that could be what she is that she is the combination of that time of wholesome naivete when they were kids, just hanging out and having a good time. And he wants to go back to that time, not maybe more, older, because Menma died how many years ago? 5?
I don't remember.
Was she in high school when she died?
No.
Okay,
no, definitely
gotcha.
not. She was very young.
So she was very young. So
it's hard to tell sometimes when they're shown as the adorable little kids. Like, are they 12 or are they 7?
Or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point. But I'm guessing that they were friends a long time before she died as well.
Right.
So it could be that it's not even that he's wanting to go back to when she was 11 or 12 or whatever when she died. He wants to go back even younger to that, to when his mom was around.
That would have been probably the last time
everything was perfect.
Yeah, when things were perfect.
Because that's something that needs to be kept in mind here. His mom died before Menma did. Which means that when Menma and him maybe liked each other, Anaru liked Jinta, and there's all this stuff going on. Jinta was already dealing with the fact that he had lost his mom.
Sure. And you could tell, like, when she went to touch his face and he slapped her hand away, that rejection of, what he was seeing, the fact that,
which is why I think, in my opinion, that he has projected a little bit of his mother into this apparition of Menma. And thus she ends up making the fried, bread or what have you.
And if it's not, then it's this wonderful thing where Menma is, as a character, if
understanding that then.
Right. That yeah. I wasn't the only person you lost.
Yep. And I also wasn't so young that I didn't understand the pain you were going through.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, it might be a thing where she more understands it now. But
right. And she's hanging out with Jinten still as a ghost or whatever. So, but maybe if she makes his bread stuff, then she could kind of, make it seem like she was bringing his mom back a little bit too.
Yeah. If we go with the lore kind of stuff that they've set up for, like, the mechanics of Menma here, and that she doesn't remember any of that stuff there, that's why she disassociates from Menma a little bit and calls herself, if Menma wants you to do this,
doesn't remember?
She
She doesn't remember her wish.
She doesn't remember her wish. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that she doesn't remember the entire
Right, it's just that she doesn't know what her wish is. There's something that will help her pass on.
But for some reason she knows that there is a wish.
Right.
Which is a little funny.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, is this actually a wish that's real and you remember it? Is this maybe you being a little bit cleverer than you let on? Or is this something of where you're like, I want something, but I, Menma, need to deal with some of my trauma.
Sure.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
If it's like I died yes, she maybe accepts that, but the fact that she just starts crying, just like without almost any prompting, and it's a soundless cry, it's just the tears start flowing, that's when your body is telling you, your mind, heart, and everything is telling you, hey, you need to process this.
And that happened, I think there were 2 times that happened this episode.
Two times this episode.
It was at the memorial for Jinta's mother.
Yep.
And then when Popo said the Super Peace Busters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this show is really strong in its start here, and now we've really jumped the pacing a lot more to accelerate into the idea that now 2 more characters can see Menma.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Yep.
3 episodes in, y'all. But thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yes, I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. It's very much focused on Nakama and things like that, and surprise, it features a group of 6 very close friends. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's on Amazon. The link is in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.